Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekmak, this is Let's Play Limbus Company, Pilgrimage of Compassion. I'm sure I'll figure it out sooner or later. Anyhow, we have a combat encounter. It looks like small tide. Clear within 15 turns is a little bit ominous. We might be seeing a lot of enemies here. I do have the option of using Superbia. Ooh, this is a big one. When in standby state, this does not use attack skills until it takes damage. While in standby state, if it does take damage, enter combat ready. Start in combat ready, inflict everyone gets hit with nervous impairment. Okay, so that's important. We want to skip over using offensive skills against these guys. Which is unfortunate because it means that the first thing that's going to happen is he's going to make someone leave.
시간 끌 것 없이 모조리 치워하죠.
그쪽 방향이 아닐 텐데.
효과적인 공격이 됐다. 무상은 목숨. 불끈 지원할 뻔.
너는 못 따라나.
엘리트 오페레이터の腕前です.
Oh wait, did he just retreat someone? I don't think he did. Oh well, we'll keep doing it anyhow. We've got to be careful with Sinclair's skill though, because it does hit multiple people.
조심하시다. 전장에서 촌딱처럼 두리번거리고 있다간 피가 끓어오른 투개에게 쪼아먹힐 테니까.
520 HP is a lot.
시간 끌 것 없이
튀울 수가 없구나. 뭐란 없으니 너는 못 따라나.
敵は深手を負っています.
And he's always the slowest, did you notice? You know what, sure. If it triggers Sinclair, then it triggers Sinclair. Or if it triggers the bot, if it triggers this, if it triggers the monster, the Basin Sea Reaper, then it triggers the Basin Sea Reaper. That's fine.
저 혈압도 바로 보려내. 혈압도 바로.
Oh, yep, he set it off. Lonesome stands sacrifice to claim the garden. Reap nutrients. Yeah, it had to happen because we ran out of enemies. Combat state. Incision of Life. On hit without cracking inflicts sinking, but we can't do anything about the nervous impairment. That works. Two gloom. Well, we're gonna get gloom here, so that'll be nice. Two gloom, wrath, slum. Actually, it would be safe to use Gregor's ego wind-up. Only 1 of 1 damage though, that's kind of silly. This does not hit an enemy, does not trigger defense skills, and it cannot be reused. Okay, that would probably be why then.
막아내지 못하리. 깨치시게.
That doesn't trigger. Oh, that doesn't trigger encounter, but it does let the unbreakable coin through, doesn't it?
너는 못 따라나. 휘청거리기는 눈부시지 않도록 두려워하지 마.
I got a big sword now.
네 목숨은 아직 따로 쓸 곳이 있다.
There goes Sinclair.
너의 쓸모를 보여라.
15 of 20, 5 left. We just need to kill these guys. Zap.
너냐?
숨통 끊기.
흐릿한 등화, 곱게 접은 종이에 번졌으니 식구의 하늘, 용이 되어 긴 벼루에 남았구나. 목을 떨궈주마. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
Mission accomplished.
We're never going to get to use Christmas, are we? The remaining enemies have all returned to sea. Is everyone okay? It was just like our last skirmish. Sea terrors that had surrounded the ship returned to the sea even before the battle came to an end. And the retreat felt too orderly and deliberate to be just running away. It's almost like they're making a tactical retreat. We're doing peachy, but what about the ship? Foe, is the ship okay? Minor damages to the hull, but nothing that will impede the ship's operational capabilities. Ugh. So, I noticed during the battle, I might be wrong of course, but I think I noticed how around the end of the battle, those monsters were starting to go after the manager. You're probably right, actually. I noticed too, at some point during our battle, those monsters realized that it's the manager who's commanding the rest of us. I sensed the very same. Her movements were fluid and adaptive, as though they were learning our behavior. Why does this Church of the Deep worship monsters like them? That ain't much of a question, innit? They must have all gone mental. I'm sure they have many reasons, but Seaborns are beings of infinite potential, so much so that there's no superlative big enough to properly convey the scale. As organisms, they can endlessly evolve and adapt. Every time they encounter a new environment or a new element, they transform themselves and other Seaborns. Maybe that's their draw. That fascination may be an attitude most befitting a researcher, yet the transformation of fascination into idolatry, if I may be frank, not entirely positive. I find them pretty uncomfortable. They just reminded me of whales. Then can they learn the language to communicate with us? What? Going by everything we heard, I think they sound really smart. Mare's eyes went round at Honglu's suggestion. She brought her hands to her mouth, surprised. It sure was something. I heard that there was a Seaborn who could talk. If non-humans speak the language of humans, regardless of its testament to their intelligence, I can think of only two possibilities as to why they would. One, to communicate with humans. The other, to deceive humans. More often than not, it's the latter. What about distortions? Some of them already know how to speak. Distortions are phenomena in which humans transform into monstrous forms, first observed after White Knives and Dark Days incident. That's your fault, Angela! Therefore, that example is irrelevant to Utis's supposition. White nights and dark days. She whispered quietly, but as we were standing rather close to her, we all caught on to the hint of joy in her voice. The pillar of light in the city. Did it really? How have you come across this knowledge, Miss Mares? Well, that's... Ain't it obvious? We've got the culprit right here. The storyteller lass who's been gabbing on with no end. Yeah, she's been talking non-stop all morning about all kinds of stories, hasn't she? Huh? Yet I have not gone that far. You again? You didn't get so lost in your own stories that you blabbed all about our company's secrets, have you? Guys, Don Quixote was about to say she hasn't told her about that yet. There's something very suspicious about Mares going on. Nay, Fire would simply not. As Don Quixote was subject to yet another round of scolding, Amia stared out toward the sea, wary that night sea terrors might start crawling to the surface once again before turning towards us. I wonder which of the two Seaborns are. Their sense of self is really faint, so I don't think they'd be in either category. I think it's possible that they learned human language out of instinct, that the power of speech might help them survive. It appears that you, Miss Mares, are quite the expert on the subject of Seaborns. Your knowledge of them goes beyond what fear for one's survival may yield, thereby suggesting a different means of acquisition. Do you by chance worship the Seaborns? I don't worship Seaborns. Seaborns don't have any hopes or wishes, just desire for survival. Miss Mares, does that mean if Seaborns were somehow able to hope? Maybe so. Is that so? The repairs are complete. As we were conversing, Force descended from the ship with a neatly organized set of tools borrowed from the village. Repairs completed. I'm guessing repairs are done? Yes, the ship is ready to sail. Did you two have a departure time and dates in mind? I would prefer if we could depart as soon as possible. We don't have a set time or anything, but I think we should be able to set sail this late afternoon at the earliest. That soon? as you've seen, we don't have a lot to bring with us. By the way, how far out to sea do you guys need to go? We need to find this dimensional door of sorts. I could see the dimensional door's light from the beach at night. It was faint, but given how the light's strong enough to break through the sea fog, we should be able to determine its location somewhere around the coastal waters. So, we can go back tonight. The first order of business is to relay this news to the villagers. Yeah, back to the village for now. 1623. Yeah. That may be good for time.
또 한 줄의 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍호는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍로가 무엇을 바꿨는지를.
Please claim these rewards. Okay, story, The Inquisitor. Great, just great. There's something going on in the village. Yeah, I hear it too. I'm hearing people shouting and hollering. When we returned to the village, ship repairs completed, we were welcomed by a rather hostile standoff. A quick count told me there were approximately 20 people assembled at the village square. Considering its population, that was pretty much the whole village. Who's that over there? Inquisitor? I think we've been found. The Inquisitor, dressed in a well-kept uniform, was about the same height as Don Quixote. The sword and the lamp hanging from her waist sits in stark contrast with the more run-down, ramshackle village. She almost looked like a fixer from the city. So the Inquisition has discovered our village. Did you really think you could forever stay out of the Inquisition's gaze, citizen? That's a naive dream. Fabius disappeared from the Inquisition mid-interrogation under charges of suspicion of membership within the Church of the Deep. Last known location, Salt Flat. The other Inquisitors have informed me that you have been identified next to pirates in its fringes. From a criminal to an outlaw, what a dramatic evolution of your career. But it ends here, now. Every citizen here, including you, will be accompanying me to the Inquisition. They have never broken a single law, nor are they outlaws of any kind. They are not like me. They've disregarded the Inquisition's authority, evaded the gaze of Iberia, and found the southern coast lurking. Tell me I'm not supposed to find that suspicious. What are you talking about? You can't just start arresting people left and right with a tenuous suspicion like that. You shouldn't. We only wish to live a quiet life, ma'am. Is that so? Then you might find yourself returning to this village one day, as long as you're telling the truth. Which is not an option for you, Fabius. Miss, was Chief really a pirate? Well, yeah, but as far as I know, he's been out of the game for a while. And even when he ran with the pirates, all he ever did was share fin beast jerky to the villagers. Or carry Aegirians between them. Even if you're telling the truth, Mies, I doubt the Inquisition will be lenient. Well, what now? I have but one question to ask. That Inquisitor, is she following the proper legal procedures? I don't know much about the laws of Iberia, but Dr. Kyle Sit told me that the words of the Inquisitors were pretty much the law here. It is likely that she is following the proper legal procedures. The procedures are exactly what the villagers have fled from, after all. Then it is decided. Brutus quietly dragged me to the side and whispered outside Mayor's earshot. The sinners who were right next to me seemed to have picked it up, though. Executive Manager, we best immediately return to the ship, take command of it, and sail out on our own. It is unwise to involve ourselves in this conflict. What? Are you seriously suggesting we just let him arrest the villagers? Didn't you hear what the Inquisitor said? Seems quite cut and dry to me. If this is just standard procedure with no local laws broken, we are in no place to involve ourselves. Our best hope is to take the ship before they impound that too. We can't do that, even if it is standard procedure. Even if they're working within the law, it's not. You stayed up to hear Mayor's story too, didn't you? You know, the Encore Inquisitors were working with the law too when they came for the village. That was standard procedure too. If anyone had stepped in, then I know you went what you went through, but I'd still not rather take a risk in an unfamiliar environment like this. I will try my best to figure out how to sail that ship. If I cannot, I have faith in Ishmael to quickly learn its controls. I can't say you're wrong, but I don't know. Neither you nor I know anything about the ocean currents here, Utis. We can get the ship going, but I can't guarantee we'll reach the dimensional door without any trouble. Do you know anything about the sea currents in this region? Not much, but I know the coastal sea somewhat. And you can't fight the Inquisitors directly here in Iberia. Fleeing with the ship might be the better option. What do we do, Dante? Yeah, I guess it's kind of awkward for us to just take the ship and go, huh? How about we try to talk to the Inquisitor then? I think we should at least try to hear them out first, them being the Inquisitor and the Chief both. If the discussion goes well, we might even be able to get the Inquisition support. Like Mr. Honglu said, we should hear them out first, then try to convince them. I agreed with them both. First, let's at least see what the Inquisitor has to say. Rabbit's right, she says. Are you certain that translation was accurate, Sinclair? Right, there's no way Ryoshu would choose anything other than violence, right? Idiots. It's because the other options are pointless. Inquisitor's seen us. We're already under suspicion. She will doubtless try to stop us if we flee now. So talk first, lower her guard, then attack. Pretty sure that's not what Amiya means. Well, if she's already onto us, we shouldn't give her any excuse to attack us by running away. I was wondering what you were doing there, lurking in the background. A clock-shaped head? Are you from the Colombian Union? They're wearing a clock for a head due to reasons, but they have nothing to do with the Colombian Union. What's the Colombian Union? Tick-tock... what? Which language are they speaking? Regardless of whether you're from Colombia or not, you're clearly not from Iberia, let alone this village. Yeah, not wrong, but I think there's been a bit of a misunderstanding. I'm quite certain you don't know enough about these villages to stand between them and an Inquisitor. How long have you been staying here? 2 days. Buddy, don't just tell her that. 2 days? Alright, enough with this chicanery. Get out of my way, outsider. The attempt appears to have been made on quite the unstable ground. Please lend us your ear for a minute, Inquisitor. I am Amiya, the leader of Rhodes Island. Yes, I am aware of Iberia's closed border situation. I felt hope swelling within me as Amiya began with confidence, unlike Sinclair. Alas, it was short-lived. Thanks to the Inquisitor's quick retort, I couldn't help but place my palm against my forehead at the exchange that followed. Oh, so not only are we dealing with outsiders of dubious origin, we have illegal entry as well. We had to because they didn't issue commands of urgency, and... I've been briefed, brazenly crossed the border, didn't you? I don't know how urgent that issue could be, but I doubt it's anything more significant than the situation at hand for Iberia and its Inquisition. The High Inquisitor is handling the Rhodes Island issue. Stay put and await the consequences while he and that chatty med doctor of yours talk it out. Do know that your treatment date would depend on her negotiation skills. As for the village chief, I understand that you have the right to arrest him, as he is a fugitive who had fled in the middle of an interrogation, and has been sailing with the pirates. However, it is an inhumane treatment to arrest the rest of the villagers as well. Inhumane, this decision is well within the rights bestowed upon the Inquisition. They've lived for years right next to that highly suspicious Asia. The Inquisition must investigate the rest of them to verify whether they have committed any acts of treason against our laws. This isn't going anywhere, is it? Listen, they've been surviving for years upon years by the coast without the protection of the Inquisition. That simply cannot make sense. Boy, I think I've heard enough from you. Ain't it funny how you're blaming them for what is essentially a failure of your own responsibilities? And now you roll up in here, only to go, they shouldn't be alive. I'm arresting them all. What? Are you saying these people should all be dead or something? I am. There's simply no other way to cut it. People simply shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this. Not for this long. The Inquisition's reply only seemed to fan Heathcliff's wrath. As he lifted his bat and began striding forward. That's it. Lass, if you ever so much as touch the tip of a single village's air. Please calm yourself, Heathcliff. But Honglu stepped in between them. Get your bloody hands off me! I've had enough of her! Continuing to threaten her will cause something irrevocably bad to happen. I believe you know that yourself, Heathcliff. What do you suggest then? We're clearly not making any progress by trying to talk this out. Excuse me, Miss Inquisitor. What do you mean that people shouldn't be able to survive in a place like this? I meant it literally. Even by some miracle that they actually do survive, they should at least be suffering from endless hunger, struggling to their wits' end at the inevitability of the calamity. But they look too healthy. The heck? Then shouldn't you be applauding them for managing to survive through so much hardship? I'm an Inquisitor. I'm not some crazy person on a power high who goes around accosting and arresting the civilians of Iberia straight to the gallows, okay? I have more than enough probable cause to take them in for interrogation. It's just that I don't have the time or energy to explain every single one of them to you outsiders. I promise them a fair judgment, whichever way that may be, after a proper investigation. So stop it with this obstruction of justice. The Inquisitor brandished her rapier threateningly, her voice shaking with frustration. Dante, without the full picture of the circumstances, forced advise against further antagonization of the local political authority. I agree with forced. I get the feeling she isn't the kind of heartless Inquisitor that goes around indiscriminately executing innocents like Miss Mayers told us about earlier. I don't think she's anything like the Inquisitors of Encore we saw back at Cole. They were right, we didn't have the full picture of the circumstances. Getting in the way of an Inquisitor who was clearly a rather significant political entity in the area was most likely a bad idea. It isn't the Inquisitor's job to answer your questions. Continue to obstruct me then. As the standoff was showing no signs of ending. Miss Mayers? I can answer your questions. So for now, let's do as the Inquisitor says. Mayers, who had been hiding behind us ever since we returned to the village, suddenly stepped forward. Yet, what of thy grandfather and the villagers? It's alright. I'm sure this is happening only because the Inquisitor doesn't know. What do you mean you'll answer the questions? About the profound silence. Mayer's response to Utis was but a single concept. I didn't quite grasp its significance, but it seemed to surprise the Inquisitor. That's what they call the calamity that destroyed Iberia. Okay, 30 minutes. Cool timing. I think I might be done recording for the day. I think I need to get onto my editing now, so until next time, guys, take care. I'll see you all around. It looks like we've got some combat up ahead, though. Oh, hey, 502. Maybe yet we'll have a chance to see Ishmael's ego in battle.